Alright. That was a wrong button push. Let me just... sorry. Alright. We're back. Slightly wrong button push. And here is another one. Alright. That. Alright. Now it sort of works. Okay, and the light change I made is also not quite what should have happened. That thing where you think, oh, I can just fiddle a bit with this. Okay, let's go here and fix that as well. Alright. That's not better either. Alright, now we're back, I hope. Seriously. Why can't stuff just work? Okay. Yep. We're back. Slightly brighter than before that light, but I'll manage. Whoops. And switch keyboard back. So, we just finished the... If only there was a configurable button panel with customizable buttons where you would never push the wrong button. If only someone invented that. Well, I have a button panel here. That's where I pushed the wrong button. Because somehow instead of scene change, I pushed the stop streaming button. Brains! Anyway. Yes, so we just finished the DLC. That's the shooting lessons. We've seen those a couple times. So I guess let's watch the Either Wave by talking to Ada.
Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance?
You mentioned an Either Wave drama. I'd like to see it.
Certainly, Captain. I was hoping you would ask.
It was the law-forsaken parasites. I had become obsessed. My quest to stop them. To avenge my partner, Philip. And my ex-partner, Bernice. And Lieutenant Jurgen. And those two informants had brought me to Rizzo's distillery. But it wasn't just the triple distilled deliciousness of Rizzo's Spectrum brand vodka that I found there. It was death. I made sure the Brain Eaters paid the price. But at what cost to me? It's you.
This is the Halcyon News Network with breaking news. Halcyon Helen has been murdered. Administrator Ludovico of Rizzo's refused to answer the big question on everyone's mind. Who will Spectrum Vodka's next spokesperson be? Claiming that a special investigation must be concluded first.
Captain, we have a communication coming in from one Administrator Ludovico.
Get off the transmission, Cedric. We agreed to let me do the negotiating. Law be with you, friend. I am Administrator Ludovico of the famed Eridanos Atmospheric Complex. But there's no need to stand on formality. You may address me as Mr.
The image quality of their TV is better than their reality. Yeah. I by the way, I love this cutscene. Like, we haven't had any... Yeah, we haven't had any cutscenes in the entire game. Have we? Like, we had in the opening, like, that panning over a few, flyers and letters and things like that. And Phineas running, I guess, but that looked much more like in-engine graphics. And this looked really good. For a moment, I was thinking, like, is this live action? And there were really good facial impressions and, camera work and everything. So, wow. I didn't know this game studio, this game engine could do that. I guess it's, it might be that it was a pre-recorded movie. In which case, it wasn't technically this engine doing it. But, in any way, that looks amazing. And I hope if we get more DLC, I think there was only 2 DLCs planned, but who knows? Or even if we get a sequel, I hope that they will take the time and add more, like, cutscenes with camera work and facial expressions and stuff like that. Oh, but I just call you Lou. Do we want to antagonize him going in? We haven't really been the kind of person to antagonize someone. So I guess, alright, mister. Nah, let's just go over it, gloss over it. Let me guess, this is about Halcyon Helen's murder.
Her death is the tragedy of our lifetime. As the face of our new product line, her murder is a stain on the Rizzo's brand. She was scheduled to unveil our newest product, Spectrum Brown, before this tragic event. But we cannot move forward with our unveiling until we apprehend the killer.
And by the way, it's weird. Was she killed on set? Or, like, how did this recording that we just saw came about? Or was that just, she had recorded an episode and they cut off at the spot that made it seem like she had been killed or something like that? I guess it might have just been a scene where, we didn't see her die, so she might have survived. Why are you contacting me? The board doesn't like me very much.
Captain Hawthorne, Sublight's favorite freelancer. I'm such an admirer of your work. Cedric Kincannon, Sublight Underground. I'm so glad we're hiring a third-party investigator. No one wants to see a troop of UDL guards stomping all over my hotel. Least of all me. The murder of Halcyon Helen is a heinous assault on this colony. I look forward to watching you find the miscreant responsible and drag them out of the shadows.
Alright. The cliffhanger that became too real tonight. Yes. Something like that, yeah. So we know Sublight. That's the smuggling company we had a choice of working for. I think in most cases we kind of went, oh, we couldn't manage to find anything, and stopped doing jobs for them. Heinous assault. I think I'll just go with number 3 for now, because Sublight Underground sounds weird. Sounds like that's a different thing. But I guess, my guess is that it's one of the Sublight bases, and that, he's doing a lot of shady stuff there, and so he goes, well, this person, we know they haven't sold us out, so they won't, tell on us, but on the other hand, we can get an investigation.
Don't worry. You and I are going to become very close acquaintances. I run the Grand Colonial Hotel and Piraeus Spaceport. Ludovico and I are business partners, in a manner of speaking. Eridanos is our shared responsibility.
Eridanos is not our shared responsibility. Eridanos is my responsibility, to which you and your organization have latched on like a parasite.
Please, Lou. Sublight Underground is built on discretion. I'm establishing rapport with our new contractor. Let's not give her the impression that you can't be trusted.
Do you really want to do this right now, Cedric? You want to antagonize me while I'm negotiating a contract. Because I promise you, I'll win.
Okay, let's just be... Oh! Hi, Num Nums. How's it going? Had a good week? We're just starting the new DLC. You missed a gorgeous cutscene from a kind of like sci-fi film noir, where someone was shot, and apparently that was real, and it looks like we're getting hired to solve the problem. I'm doing well, yeah. Had a good week. Yeah. And now playing games. Yay! Okay, let's see. Gentlemen, please. As far as I'm concerned, you're both idiots.
First sensible thing I've heard all day. My apologies, Mr. Ludovico. That was unprofessional of me. I'm Constable Maria Keene. Hiring a third-party investigator was my idea. I've been studying your dossier. You're a talented diplomat. You know how to ask questions, and you have a gift for getting answers without resorting to violence. As far as I'm concerned, you're the ideal inspector for this case.
Okay, so what I'm wondering now is, does this line change depending on how you play the game? Like, if you always gave the snarky answers, will the talented diplomat disappear? And it'll just say, you don't traipse around and get things done, or whatever. Or is this just, does it not make sense? Your week was okay, very busy with work, but a nice chill weekend. Good, good. Yeah. Alright. I kind of like shouldn't this be the constable's job? constable. But, I mean, you know, she will have a reason for why she's doing this. I guess I'll go with just how many people are involved in this communication.
Just the three of us.
Just the three? No one else is going to jump in here unexpectedly?
You must excuse us. The situation on Eridanos is tense. If we don't bring Helen's killer to justice, this scandal could scupper our entire operation. Please, Captain, I'm asking you to help us. While you're pursuing your investigation, we'll make you a guest of honor at the Grand Colonial.
You also got a Fitbit. It's been bullying you all day. Yeah, I guess that's the job. I have a watch that I'm luckily not wearing right now. That will also occasionally tell me, you know, get up, get some more steps in. Things like that. Ooh, and my keyboard is just saying it would like some power. Alright, it's happy now. I don't like any of these answers. We'll see if I'm in the area. No, I'm gonna say, okay, you know, I'm taking the job. But you can count on me sounds a bit overselling it. I'm hoping it will help you around. You're hoping it will help you around a bit more. We shall see how long it lasts on your wrist. Yeah. That reminds me, Fitbit. Oh right, the original Fitbit was like a little plastic clip. That's why. I thought, like, I went like, huh, I always remember people talking about having Fitbits, like, you know, stuck to their pocket or on the belt. But that was because the original Fitbit was just a plastic clip, basically, that you clipped onto something. It wasn't a wrist-worn thing, but the new ones are different. You can tell Grandpa is telling stories. In my days, Fitbits were little plastic clips that you kept losing, not those fancy wristbands. Something like that. I guess we'll go with you can count on me. I'll come lounge around and then decide. Sounds weird, and that's too committal. Okay, you can count on me.
The future of our complex may depend on your success. I'll leave you in the constable's care. Mr. Kincannon and I must have a word.
Fine. But Rizzo's is paying for that hotel room.
I can't tell you how grateful I am for your help. And even though they may not show their gratitude, I know Administrator Ludovico and Mr. Kincannon appreciate your involvement. Mr. Kincannon could lose his spaceport if board authorities took over the investigation, and if Rizzo's is forced to cancel its unveiling, we might never recover.
You seem competent. You could have dealt with this.
I represent the law, Captain. But what's happening between Mr. Kincannon and the Administrator is politics. Politics are not my area of expertise. The law is simple. Politics are complicated.
So, basically, if someone gets hung, then that should be me and not her. Makes sense. When you were young, Fitbits were loud, big things in church towers, and they woke you up in the morning. Yes, that too. Yeah, they're in a way they're kind of like Tamagotchi, you know, going and telling you, "Hey, work more, feed me," things like that. The bells, yeah. You sound a bit worn out.
Me? Worn out? Perish the notion. My days are filled with catering to the oh-so-reasonable requests of Mr. Ludovico and Mr. Kincannon. What's not to like?
Them. They're not very likable.
Your words, not mine. Please don't take my lack of disagreement as anything other than fatigue. I am a content, productive, and happy member of our society.
Those two seem to have some issues.
The administrator oversees Rizzo's operations. Cedric runs the hotel and the spaceport. They're always at each other's throats. My life would be so much easier if they'd simply learned to work together.
Relax, they're nothing I can handle.
I'm pleased to hear that. From everything I've heard, you're a competent freelancer. And at the risk of sounding impertinent, we desperately need the help of someone competent. Thank you for your time, Captain. Whenever you're ready, I've authorized the Unreliable to land at the Grand Colonial.
Alright, I've got everything I need.
Transmission terminated. Captain, we are now cleared to land at the Eridanos atmospheric complex.
I'm sad that I didn't get to ask the question about Helen must have been really popular. I thought I would get to ask all three, and then it sent me to the end already. You remember having a Tamagotchi thing. Your dad used to take it on night shifts with him so he could look after it. That was nice. What can you tell me about Eridanos?
Eridanos is a hydrogen-helium gas giant, distinguished by a well-defined ring system. The Eridanos atmospheric complex is a system of land masses propelled through a thin layer of the upper atmosphere, where humans are potentially capable of surviving.
I don't know why they're trusting me to catch Halcyon Helen's killer.
There are several reasons why someone would hire your services. In descending order of likelihood, they are as follows: desperation, confusion, mistaken identity, inebriation, and genuine faith in your abilities.
Fuck you too, Ada. Jesus. Alright, so I guess we're going to Eridanos, finally. I remember that being on the map and locked the entire base game and going like, okay, when will we go there? When will we go there?
We're now docked at Eridanos' luxury landing pad.
So now the big question comes, who do we take along? I think Felix has had its... So do we want Ellie? It's always with like the luxury stuff, Ellie might have some input. But it's not really... Let's go with Nyoka and Parvati. Halcyon Helen versus the Brain Eaters, Chapter 12, Murder on Eridanos. So it's actually basically the story we are playing now. Ooh, that's also new. Fancy. I don't think we had something like this at the previous start, did we? It's been a few weeks, so I might just not remember it. Speak to the bellhop.
Oh, wow. This is a job? Feels more like a vacation.
Oh, there's a bunch of small ships. They look kind of similar.
Hello there. Hope your atmospheric entry wasn't too troublesome. As a guest of honor, you deserve the best in comfort. Sublight Salvage and Shipping Underground, or Slug, as we like to call ourselves, is delighted to welcome you to Eridanos. I'm the Grand Colonial Head Bellhop. I'm here to grab your bags and direct you, the inspector, to the Grand Ballroom, which was the scene of the crime.
I find it interesting that in this DLC we had more people with skin blemishes. Where, I'm wondering, like, many people have, uneven skin color, so it's nice on one hand to have that represented in games a little more. On the other hand, I wonder if that's a story thing. If they're going, they're not treating their people very well, so there is no protective gear or anything, and those might be acid burns or something. Yeah, vitiligo seems to be common in this world. Yeah, it kind of... At least as of the DLC. I think in the base game we didn't see it that much. Can you fill me in on the details of the murder?
I can try. I was the one who found Helen's body in the Grand Ballroom. Corpse wasn't in the best shape. Aside from that, I don't know a whole lot. Helen was supposed to host the unveiling for Rizzo's newest product, Spectrum Brown. Until you catch the killer, the unveiling's been indefinitely postponed. Helen's death has been a shock for many. A lot of people are inconsolable. Hell, even Black Hole Birdie, Helen's beau, has wandered off. Some folks think he had something to do with the murder, but I don't believe it.
He did it. It's always the boyfriend.
I don't understand why anyone would have it in for Ms. Helen.
Folks get heated when it comes to serials and their actors, I suppose.
Was she a divisive figure?
Not particularly. But I think some folks were jealous of her success, or otherwise viewed her as a threat. Reckon how she came about her fame didn't help.
I take it she made some bad choices?
Actually, Helen didn't do anything like that. She was just so stellar in her roles, and the public liked her so much that she got a following all on her own. She ended up about as famous and high-runged as your average VP, which rubbed a lot of Byzantines the wrong way. Actors ain't supposed to get preferential treatment. Let's see here. Oh, I already spoke briefly about the Spectrum unveiling, or lack thereof. It's still an awful shame. A lot of folks looking forward to that.
I thought you worked for Sublight Underground, not Rizzo's.
I do. Rizzo's happened to rent out the Grand Colonial Ballroom from Slug for the unveiling. A nice mutually beneficial event. But the murder's gone and ruined that. Along with 9 out of 10 of my favorite cereals. Anyway, I think I've held you up long enough. Once you're ready, head down to the lobby. The ballroom is just behind the elevators. Meanwhile, I'll grab your bags.
I don't need you to take any bags.
You're certain? All right, then. Guess we can probably set you up with some spare uniforms if you must yours.
Spare uniforms? What?
Apologies, sir, but the atmospheric complex is on complete lockdown. No one's allowed in or out until the murder investigation's concluded.
Do you have any idea who I am? I could bury you under 6 tons of paperwork before you had the time to cry out for your supervisor.
I'm sure you could, but we fed our last box of grievance forms into the incinerator a few months ago. Is there anything I can do for you in the meantime?
I cannot believe this.
Rich people, yes. Oh. Sweeper? What is a sweeper?
We don't toss troublemakers out of airlocks. We just throw them over the edge.
Oh, that's not stealing, apparently. Don't mind if I do, then.
How many bits I've spent at the Grand Colonial?
That's sealed.
Really, I do. You've got your job to do, and you'll get fired if you don't do it.
Thanks for the understanding.
I wasn't finished. Couldn't I just go out on a ship for a brief period? A handful of minutes, maybe? Just a quick trip to Byzantium so I can check on my stocks? I promise it won't take more than an hour.
Sir, for both our sakes, I'm just going to pretend like you didn't say anything.
I can't believe I could just rummage through all the luggage here and take anything. Everything. Okay, there's an elevator. What I was about to say when he started talking was, I like that all the spaceships have a general style. Like they have these kind of jet engine-like parts, usually sort of high up, and apparently mounted in a rotatable way, kind of like a Harrier. And then a body in between, and even if you look at our ship, you can see it. The smokestacks in the background have smoke in 3 different colors. Oh yeah. Huh. I wonder if that's... This is also pretty. This weird tower there. I like the, I think we're calling it Art Deco style. Like that these things here look like flower petals, and I guess they're, I don't know, some sort of satellite dish or something? I don't know. Definitely looks like a machine. Huh. Nice.
Greetings, Inspector. No need to check in here. Your paperwork has all been processed. You should be able to find the Colonial right ahead.
So we're called an inspector. Inspector Hawthorne.
Oh my stars. This is the hotel? I only ever seen a place like this in periodicals. Or that one episode of Agent Khan.
Interesting that the streets are basically all the same. It, you know, it makes sense that it would be built similarly. And I think that middle divider is actually for the automated carts. It's also horrible. I can't believe someone so famous as Halcyon Helen could meet a fate like this.
I absolutely adored her cereals.
I almost can't imagine someone wretched enough to do such a thing. You don't think a dissident could be here, do you?
Get a hold of yourself. The administrator would never allow someone as dangerous as a dissident here. Eridanos is safe. This is all just a terrible coincidence.
Of course, you are absolutely right. I think the idea of a psychopath wandering among us is just making me nervous.
Don't know if Num Nums is still here, but when he said the idea of a psychopath wandering among us, I was thinking, I wonder what will happen if Matt plays this game, because he has a habit of just randomly shooting NPCs and things like that. And so, yeah, I kind of thought that, you know, it would have a bit of an irony. If it's brown, drink it down. Rizzo's Spectrum Brown.
I've always wondered what that mascot's got in his hands. What's in the box? I'll bet you 10 bits this is all just some sort of publicity stunt. We should try to solve the puzzle hedges in the orchards. The prize is supposed to be something valuable.
Puzzle hedges. Ah, there's the bellhop again.
Crime scene's awaiting, Inspector. Can't believe something like this could happen in my hotel. When I found her, I was just hoping she had a little too much to drink, but all the grievous bodily injury adds up, I suppose.
She was lying in a pool of blood, and your first thought was, I wonder if she's drunk?
Hey, Byzantines and restraint aren't two words that often go together. Wouldn't be the first blood-soaked, unconscious party-goer I've come across. Anyway, I'm sure you've got questions.
That doesn't paint a nice picture of these people. You want to give me more details on how you come across the body?
Sure, I'd taken to checking the ballroom every few hours prior to the unveiling. Just to make sure no sprats had snuck into the place. You understand. Found her right before I was set to head back to my room in the lower levels for my mandated 5-hour sleep period. Tell ya, thank the law for caffeinoid. Been too upset to get a wink of sleep since. And hey, now I can finally see smells.
He's selling this well. Did you kill Helen? You can tell me if you did. It'll be our secret.
What? No. Just because I found the corpse doesn't mean I made her a corpse. I was in shift all day. Besides, I loved Helen serials. Well, the old ones anyway. The newer episodes are hot junk on a warm day.
So that's the question. Maybe he was a disgruntled fan. Any idea why Helen would have been in the ballroom after hours?
Beats all hell out of me. Maybe she was practicing for the unveiling? Sure. What's on your mind?
Did you see Helen on the day of her death?
Of course I did. I just told you I found the body. Oh, wait. You mean when she was still breathing? No, of course I didn't. Plus, it's untoward for an employee to speculate about the actions of a hotel guest. Not that I saw any hotel guests interacting with her.
I guess we can try to persuade you. I think I'll go with Inspector Inspectee Confidentiality. Yeah, but we're not threatening. I think we both know that you're itching to gossip.
Honestly, you're more than a little right. I've been burning at the britches to share my theories. Day of her death, I saw Helen leave the hotel premises with the profit of profitability. and didn't see her come back. A little on the suspicious side, I think. Seemed especially strange, seeing how, as far as I was aware, the two didn't get on.
What's the deal with the prophet of profitability? She's a guest?
Yep. Gives seminars on increasing profit margins and the like. Can't say much else, seeing how I ain't in the gossip market.
Why didn't Helen and the prophet get along?
As far as I can recall, Helen dismissed the lady's seminars in some kind of interview. Said her co-star used them, but she didn't. The top rungers are always ready to read between the lines of famous folks and seem to think the prophet was on her way out. Woman lost a ton of bits and is set to lose more. I hope all that helped. I'd like to be as useful as I can in the investigation. I just didn't want to steer anyone the wrong way.
Got any idea who might have wanted to do Helen in?
Everyone's got theories. I don't reckon mine hold much more weight than anyone else's.
That's actually surprisingly self-aware. Especially in this game. Alright.
Hello there, my inordinately esteemed guest. If my hello were any more earnest, this loudspeaker would explode. Oh dear. I'm sorry, but you don't seem to have a registered room key. If you've lost your key, why don't you pay the hotel concierge a visit? I'm sure she can get you a new one. Then you can come back, and I'll service all of your vertical needs.
I'll service all of your vertical needs.
Oh my, how lewd.
Okay, so I guess... Where the heck is the concierge?
Welcome. If you have an issue with a hotel employee, management has requested that you speak to a security officer, rather than shoot them yourself.
I agree with that. That's a good procedure.
Subway Underground appreciates your patronage.
Ah, okay, we don't have to go through.
Black Hole Bertie's disappeared, you know. That poor fellow must be inconsolable.
Alright, I thought we had to go into the elevator, but it's actually 15 meters behind.
Oh, thank the law. Inspector, you don't know how relieved I am to see you.
I wonder if, they're all just, exhausted from their jobs, which in this game, seems to be the norm. But she seems like especially, like dulled or exhausted. Constable Keen, nice to meet you. We spoke over the ether wave.
Constable Maria Keen. It's good to meet you in person, Inspector.
Dr. Goodnight. Ecstatic to make your various acquaintances and so on. Are we finished with the pleasantries? There's something I'm excited to show you.
The directions to the spot. I'm guessing you're talking about the body.
What body? Oh, that. Goodness, no. This is far more interesting than Halcyon Helen's rapidly cooling corpse.
Our coroner has developed a device which may prove useful in your investigation. Our office has instructed her to hand it over to you.
Our office has instructed her to hand it over to you. Oh, please. You make it sound as if I'm turning over stolen goods. Behold, my discrepancy amplifier. Hold it in your hands. Feel the way it hums with ontological potential.
Ontological potential. I don't have science. Nice. How do I set it to What does this thing do exactly?
I'm so glad you asked. Allow me to explain. The discrepancy amplifier uses a deterministic model of our universe to detect the discrepancy between what should be and what actually is. Then it renders any discrepancies visible by using the power of magnification.
The power of magnification. Be good. Sounds like something the OSI teaches.
Oh, goodness, no. I don't care for OSI doctrine. I just enjoy their math.
I'm contractually prohibited from endorsing off-brand technology, but I'll bend that rule just this once. You'll want to peer into the amplifier and examine the crime scene.
The discrepancy amplifier. Greetings, Inspector. Thanks to the half-genius, half-mad scientific mind of Dr. Goodnight, you've been granted the discrepancy amplifier, a handy investigation device for uncovering clues throughout Eridanos. Be sure to equip the discrepancy amplifier in a weapon slot before you continue your hunt for Helen's killer. Alright. Where is it? Here. Designed by Dr. Goodnight is an inductive reasoning simulator and computation device fine-tuned to pick up discrepancies in the Eridanos atmospheric complex. The device requires the strong magnetic fields of the Eridanos complex and cannot function anywhere else in the colony. That's a good way of adding a DLC-only feature. Scanning Eridanos for evidence. To catch Helen's killer, you need to use the discrepancy amplifier's scope to reveal clues not visible to the naked eye. Once you've located some evidence, aim directly at it while zooming in with the scope and press the interact button to analyze it. Alright. Footsteps. Whoops.
The discrepancy amplifier is now operational. Greetings, designated inspector and/or unauthorized larcenist. This unit has detected a discrepancy related to Halcyon Helen. Unscheduled expiration of. Begin amplification?
Smack it around a little, you'll speak when you're spoken to. I see you've been designed with a modular analytical system. What else can you do?
The discrepancy amplifier has been programmed with advanced speech recognition, scientific analysis, and deterministic calculus protocols.
Oh, you'll love this. Amplifier, tell the inspector about your features.
Please do not interrupt the discrepancy amplifier. The discrepancy amplifier is programmed to take instruction from its registered or designated inspector.
How curious. I must have set its impertinence levels to flagrant.
This unit's features include an automated personality simulator. This unit has been programmed to simulate joy and satisfaction in assisting you.
Let's get started. Tell me about this discrepancy you found.
This footprint stands out from the normally spotless floor of the grand ballroom. Typically, the ballroom is cleaned twice daily, which means this must have been made by either Helen or her assailant or assailants.
Do the size of these footprints match anything you have on record? Taste the dirt.
Footprint is a tailor-made 8.75, suggesting that its owner was very particular about their shoe size. It is also the exact size that Halcyon Helen typically prefers. There are traces of dirt throughout the footprint.
Can you analyze the dirt? Oh, it would be nice if I could see some purple berry in this dirt. Amplifier, can you analyze the dirt?
The dirt carries traces of fertilizer, as well as the faint signs of crushed purpleberries and grass. Grass, fertilizer, and purpleberries can all be found in the purpleberry orchards, located not far from the Grand Colonio.
So Helen must have been at the orchards before she died.
This deduction appears sound.
Good work, Inspector. I had a feeling we'd make some progress once we brought you onto the case. You'll need Administrator Ludovico to grant you access to the orchards. Contact him through the secure access terminal in your penthouse suite. Check in with the concierge. Your room should be ready by now. If it isn't, I may have to go shake someone by the collar.
We got a room. Oh, we can rob her. Oh, that's Spectrum Brown. So it's the new product.
The Purpleberry Orchards. And a footprint. Inspector, that was absolutely marvelous. Beautifully deduced. With the help of my discrepancy amplifier, of course.
I'd like a word with you.
Waiting for this. Yes, of course. I'm only too eager to cooperate.
Tell me about the body. What's the cause of death?
My apologies, Inspector. I've not yet finished my autopsy. Come back later?
I'd like to know a little bit more about you.
Oh. Why, I'm flattered, Inspector. Let me think. I've worked at the Grand Colonial for about as long as it's been around. Prior to that, I lived in Byzantium, but I always felt like it was missing something. And that something turned out to be corpses. Byzantium has much in the way of luxury, but examining the dead does not rank amongst the preferred activities of the elite.
Sounds like you enjoy being a coroner.
Absolutely. Usually I'm just a medical practitioner, so I almost never get to deal with anything as unique, or as quiet, as a corpse. The most interesting thing I saw prior to this was the back of Mr. Woolrich's throat after he blew out his vocal cords shouting at an attendant. If I weren't here, I'd be back in my quarters, rewatching Byzantium in the spring, or working on my automatic sprat peeler.
Automatic sprat peeler. Oh god. Speaking of inventions, I'm curious about this discrepancy amplifier.
Oh, good. One of my favorite subjects. Ask away, my dear. Ask away.
What made you invent the amplifier?
I didn't expect an existentialist question so early today. It's a need. Just as sprats feel they must breed, or canids feel they must brutally maul each other, I feel the need to create.
Come on, there has to be more than that.
Inspector, I'm sure you don't want to spend 4 hours talking back and forth about the intricacies of a science project. It works. That's the important part.
The amplifier seems to be pretty powerful. Why are you trusting me with it?
Because you're the inspector. I should think that's rather obvious.
Yeah, but why not just use it yourself?
I invented the discrepancy amplifier to assist me in my own medical work. When you were hired to investigate Helen's death, I realized I had my own part to play. I programmed the amplifier to assist you. I'm entrusting it to your care because I want to see my invention help a brilliant inspector solve the murder of the century.
And you want to know as the inventor who helped solve Helen's murder.
You don't miss a thing, do you, Inspector? I can see why the constable recommended hiring you. Think of the amplifier as my gift to you. May it avail you in the swift and efficient prosecution of justice.
What happens if I break it, or lose it, or something?
I still have the blueprint and several extra prototypes floating around, but I might recommend you try to be careful with it. Some of the amplifier's internal components are rare, shall we say, and I don't have an indefinite supply. You sure you don't want to know anything else? Oh, all right. We can change the subject.
Is there more about the discrepancy amplifier?
Oh, good. One of my favorites.
No,
You sure you don't want to know anything else?
Just didn't clear.
Oh, all right.
We'll talk later. Lame excuse for this plot hole, yeah. I'm not 100% sure if, you know, I like I generally like the idea of having like an analysis machine in the game, you know? It's like detective vision in the Batman Arkham games or something. It's a cool new game feature, and in many games that's what DLC does, you know? It adds features. But and so adding a new mechanic I think is cool. And is a nice choice to make the DLC different from the previous one. It's not just, hey, we're doing yet another kind of noir-ish detective story.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Okay, I think it just re-triggered for the one we've already checked.
I knew I should have gotten her autograph when I had the chance.
Why is everybody staring? Didn't nobody teach them to respect the dead? Oh gosh, is that Miss Helen? Can we see?
What? Was that Parvati? I think that was triggered a little late. Anyway, but the way they introduce it, like, they could have just said, here is, you know, like, your scanner or something. And just said, you know, here, that's a scanner that you can use here that, I don't know, ties into the hotel or something like that, you know. But like explaining it like this and having it talk.
How awful. I left my favorite jacket in there.
Of course, I mean, the advantage of having the scanner speak is that they can guide you through the game when they need to. And that's always a problem in games. Usually you have either a companion that will point out things to you, or, you know, there are so many... many games also have like an AI or something that you carry with you and things like that. Or, you know, have you find recordings, which we did in a lot of on a lot of occasions. So I don't think it's a big you know, like, and this is the same mechanism. Give you something that will talk to you to be able to convey stuff to you that the gameplay cannot. Or maybe even help you when you're slightly stuck or something like that. Instead of always having to run to someone and communicate, or having to give you a walkie-talkie or whatever, you know.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but while the hotel is an active crime scene, I regret to inform you that all new bookings, room upgrades, room downgrades, and in-room massages are Oh, you're the special inspector. Mr. Kincannon warned me you'd be checking in soon.
Right. You happen to have my room key?
Ah, yes. We are most pleased to offer you our grandest of grand accommodations, Inspector. The penthouse suite on our topmost floor is now available for you. The last guest left her belongings behind when she vacated unexpectedly, so we needed a little time to tidy the suite up for you. Simply call the elevator in the lobby, and our highly skilled operator will deliver you to your private floor with efficiency and cheer.
This seems to be a little weird. Like, they had to clear the room because the last person had to vacate rather quickly. So the question is, did we just get Helen's old room? Because, like, as the main actress and, you know, the person who should have been in the ballroom, she, you know, she would be the candidate to get into that best of their rooms. The Grand Colonial, sure. Now let's try the high-profile guests first, because I'm not sure if we can come back to this. You've got some high-profile guests here, right? What can you tell me about them?
My apologies, Inspector, but that would be a severe violation of guest privacy. We here at the Grand Colonial firmly believe that... All right, my supervisor just walked out of earshot. Some folks just don't understand the importance of gossip. About whom? And what would you wish to know?
That's a good way to do this. Heard Black Hole Bertie was staying here.
Bertie. Is he bigger than he is dumb, or dumber than he is big? I have a bet with a friend. Not sure we'll ever get it to pay out. Bertie used to be Helen's beau, though he isn't anymore, and not just because she's dead. If I had 1,000,000 bits, I'd spend every one just to learn what caused their split.
Okay, so that's a bit of knowledge already. That he might be... That he had broken up. Did you notice anything about Halcyon Helen before she died?
You know, out of everyone here, I probably knew the least about Helen. I'm not much of an Aetherwave watcher myself. And Helen always had a crowd of admirers chasing her, you see, so she rarely stopped to chat. Friendly enough, surely, but always seemed untouchable. Emphasis on seemed.
Did you ever see Helen acting strangely?
Now that you mention it, she was usually calm and collected, but every so often I'd see her looking all wild-eyed and intense. It seemed as if she was determined about something. Or maybe she was just hungry. That woman ordered a lot of food. Maybe show business gives you a faster metabolism.
Ordered a lot of food, so maybe guests? We've got some kind of productivity guru here, right? What's her deal?
Her deal? Not making them. I'd laugh at my own comment, but everyone knows there's no bigger joke than the prophet of profitability herself. Didn't you hear Helen's interview? That woman is the definition of humbuggery. Anyone who gives her the time of day is a right fool. I mean, Spencer Woolrich has taken several of her productivity seminars, and look where it got him. Don't waste your time.
Oh, Helen's co-star, Woolrich. Okay. So that's the name of the person who she talked about. Helen's co-star, Woolrich. You have any reason to want her dead?
If looks could kill, he'd have put her in the ground 10 times over. Man's clearly jealous of her success compared to his. See, I'd bet we're the only two people thinking about him in all of Eridanos. And I only am because you mentioned his name. If you leave woolly cow milk out, it turns to curds. Leave the curds out, they begin to get stale, then rot. Woolridge is on his way to the trash bin, and everyone knows it. Either he's in denial, or he knew Helen would be checking out soon, judging by his increasing demands for a room upgrade.
Okay, that's enough gossip for right now.
That's a shame, Inspector. What if I wanted to know a little about you?
You know, it's technically it would be stupid to say anything here, you know? You're investigating stuff. But, you know, let's roleplay. I'm a freelance captain. Changing it. No, well, do we do that? We didn't really play. The problem is we don't really have a good answer here. Like, originally we played this character as, you know, someone who was just trying to save their friends on the Hope. We're not really an adventurer. But I think we're using our reputation a little. So let's go. I like to let my reputation speak for me.
Then I guess we'll have to see if you find Helen's murderer, won't we? Myself, and all of the staff at the Grand Colonial, will be rooting for you, Inspector.
The Grand Colonial sure is interesting.
It certainly is a marvel of modern ingenuity, luxury, and ambition. Please, allow me to answer any curiosities you might have about our building and the amenities on offer.
What does the penthouse have to offer?
Twice the size of the next biggest room, and kitted out with any amenity you want, as well as many that you won't. Best to enjoy it while you can, Inspector. Typically, the only people who can afford the penthouse suite have enough bits to suffocate everyone on Terra 2. Also, please inform me if Woolridge gives you a hard time about getting a better room than his. Don't tell him I said this, but everyone on staff wants to strangle him.
It's maybe not a good idea to say that to someone who is nominally something like a cop. We all want to strangle him, so which of you will do it? Is there anything special about the upper levels?
Most certainly. All the important folks can be found in the utmost parts of the hotel. You can hardly walk 3 feet without bumping into a tossball grate or a bored exec. Though maybe don't bump into them. Could be harmful to your health.
No one seems to talk much about the lower levels of the hotel.
Who would be interested in a staff-only area? Most folks never ask about the sewers beneath Arizo's plant, either.
Guess you don't lump yourself in with the other workers?
Oh no, Inspector, ma'am. I live down there too. But that doesn't mean I plan to abide in the bowels of the Grand Colonial forever. The best thing about Sublight compared to other organizations is the potential for upward mobility. We bottom rungers get in, do our job, do it well, then move up and on. This is but one rung on the grand ladder of life, you see?
That's enough about the hotel. Goodbye. Oh, that's a computer that I guess we can't hack. Just curious if I can just walk in here. Looks like it. The Dissident Queen, Chapter 2. Halcyon Helen encounters the Slugmen. Ooh, I think Sublight Underground may have been parodied in there. Having fought their way past the numerous bandit ambushes and hostile automechanicals, Halcyon, Helen, and Olympus Opal had found themselves at the gates of the dissident hideout. "You're a fine partner, easily better than my last," said Helen, "but I dare say these fiends outrank your typical anti-establishment scum. Many of them were scientists before they deserted their corporations, whereupon they stole technology for their own nefarious purposes. I've seen their abominations, and they're more than a typical person can handle. You should return to your job and to the place where you're needed." "Though I know my work was valuable," Opal said, I'm still pleased that I was promoted to assist in your quest to rid the galaxy of those who would threaten the colony's productivity. The two of us together will, I believe, be twice as effective in eliminating the enemies of the board. Helen did not respond, but instead bid her companion be silent, for she had seen that the gates to the dissident hideout were no longer shut. Someone, or something, had opened them. After you finish the story of the game, is it open world and can you do whatever you want? It's not quite. So, basically the game ending is the actual ending of the game. And the DLC technically happens before that. Though they do an exit save, so that means you can go back to before you started the last mission. So if you see, is it here? Yeah. In the journal, you see here's the mission, Brave New World. That's one I already finished. That is the end of the game. And it'll pop you back, the exit save will pop you back there, so you can play the DLC. So that's basically how that works here. But that said, it's not fully open world. But, like, if you haven't completed certain side quests or something like this, make spacesuits won't travel or whatever, like, most of the side quests you can still do after you've finished. So, it's not technically open world, but it lets you still run around everywhere and do the remaining side quests. And go back to certain places you were before. So, I guess it's not strictly linear, but not quite what I would see as an open world. Okay, we can't do anything with this terminal. Pity. What kind of a hat is that? Did the other bellhop?
Why, hello there. Goodness, I always enjoy seeing guests, but it's been so long since I've chatted face to face that I about hopped out of my skin at the sight of you. Excuse me, I should introduce myself, though you might know me already, just not by name. I'm Bellhop Sullivan. You've likely heard my dulcet tones through the elevator intercom.
Ah, okay. That was who we talked with earlier. It's not as open world as games like Minecraft. There is nothing more to interact the second time you come around, right? Yeah, basically that's how it is. It's not... You have predefined stories. Some of them are side quests that you can do at any time. Other stories are part of the main quest, and you can also only do them during the main quest. And they have, you know, like an effect on what happens during the main quest. Yeah, stuff like that. You can still go back and collect loot, for instance. But yeah, there are no mechanics. Apart from, you know, like random encounters where certain enemies will just respawn and you will have to fight them again to get past a certain spot. With a voice like that, no. I'm surprised no one smashed the intercom yet. That's rude. I recognize your voice. Pleased to finally meet you.
Oh, that's so nice of you to say. I'm glad to meet you too. now that our introductions are out of the way, do let me know if I can help you with anything.
You said you operate the elevator, right? Can guests not press the buttons themselves?
Well, yes, but having an operator certifies that the right guests end up on the proper floors. We wouldn't want tossball players rubbing shoulders with CEOs. It'd be anarchy. Plus, there's always the risk a guest chips a nail or loses a ring on a button. It's an extra effort, but the Grand Colonial prides itself on personalized service in all things. That and the elevator still works if I'm ever not around. I do take occasional breaks and sleep every so often.
So I'd assume the bellhops all know each other. Any gossip about Norville?
Oh yes, Norville's great. Always ready to help any and all guests who might need it. And so handsome, too. His judgment sometimes leaves something to be desired, I will say. Kept badgering Halcyon Helen prior to her death about an autograph or something. A little beyond his station.
So yeah, he's definitely a fan. Do you know anything about Halcyon Helen's murder?
Unfortunately not. I was in the operator room for the elevator, as usual. The camera feed only allows me to see within the elevator, which always has many people coming through. For what it's worth, the murder was a right shame. I always enjoyed the serials starring Ms. Helen, though I did find them prone to repetitive plot structures. But I'm sure you've heard the rumor about what actually did her in. That marauders got into the hotel and management is covering it up so the guests don't run off.
Have marauders been a problem at the Grand Colonial before?
Well, not necessarily, but they're fairly prevalent on the other complexes. It wouldn't take much for them to find their way here. Slug claims they've got the problem under control, but I don't understand why they haven't simply gone and exterminated all of the marauders like the vermin they are. Oh, well, I'm just here to push buttons.
Goodbye. Thanks.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. An industrial-grade laxative has been added to the liquor in these bottles.
Huh. Okay, so this is how this scanner thing works. That's interesting. Tosser on uniform, okay. What's this? Severed head of Burbage 2000. The head of Burbage 2000, torn from its body in the penultimate act of Titus Androidicus. Why, foolish Burbage, dost thou not perceive that Halcyon is but a wilderness of dissidents, and it is only through our citizens' vigilance that they will be caught? Report any and all suspicious behavior to your local constable. Okay. They mentioned Titus Androidicus. So interesting, someone added laxative. Huh. Oh, what's this? Join us for the Profit of Profitability seminar. A flyer promoting a productotherapy seminar with renowned Prophet of Profitability Jasmine Leva and her retreat in the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve. Under her patented system, purge your body of nefarious humors, stopping you from unlocking your true productive potential. Humors. That's like Middle Ages. Well, I guess at the time it was considered science. Oh, what's here? There's another stain. It's interesting that there are these stains. Like, how does... I guess it's just a Halcyon thing, you know, that nothing here... Like, even the spots where all the rich people go have deteriorated because the entire galaxy is going downhill. You see, like, someone's basically walked through that red carpet. And really, then why would you leave the red carpet here? Sometimes the game doesn't react to the mouse anymore. Weird. Hi Lucius, how's it going? So we can call the elevator, it seems. Even up here.
Oh, come on. Why is the lounge closed? I wanted brunch.
Because there's a dead body in there. Welcome Dr. Winifred Goodnight. This is an automated reminder to make sure you clean the blood of your instruments. Patient logs. Bosch, Hartford. Another day, another case that bores me to drink. The ill-fated Byzantine of the hour thought it prudent to gorge himself on enough purpleberry wine to incapacitate a primal. He then attempted to reach the lobby by stairs rather than elevator and fell down 6 flights. Automechanical servants broke his fall. He broke their servo mechanisms and will be billed accordingly. Fractures in left clavicle, right femur, parietal bone, ribs. More injuries than brain cells. I recommend replacing purpleberry wine with Rizzo's Spectrum Violet in order to appease Rizzo's company policy. I like the world in here. Like, it's always like, yeah, of course. Even the doctors recommend products. And this openly. So, Lucius, how's your week been so far? Or how has your week been? It's already over. Patient log. Han, Nina. Finally, something a little different from the norm. Ms. Han came in earlier today, escorted by her sister. Apparently not long after arriving on Eridanos, the two of them went on a trip through the purpleberry orchards. Ms. Han's sister visited the puzzle hedges, but quickly became lost. When she eventually made her way out, Ms. Han was nowhere to be found. The sister claims that Ms. Han returned to their hotel room several hours later, but has been unusual ever since. Her sister described the patient as formerly sullen, morose, phlegmatic, and given to melancholia. Her demeanor has transformed into an unpleasant degree of levity and shocking enthusiasm toward everything. I suggested vast quantities of cheap alcohol. So mood swings, and she got happy. I wonder if that's like, if that's, ugh, I'm getting myself tangled in my headset here. What was it? Yeah, I wonder if, you know, that's kind of the reverse of Adrena time, where people, instead of turning into marauders, kind of get high or something. Maybe she found drugs somewhere. Extreme excitability. Okay, so that's the clinic, I take it. It's always interesting in this game how dirty everything in the end is.
I did not read about this kind of treatment in the service agreement papers.
Clever.
What the? I was going to wash my hands, I swear.
I was going to wash my hands, I swear.
Murder or... Hello? Hello? Can't you let me in yet? I've been waiting almost 15 minutes.
Okay, locked door. Okay, and that goes out to Eridanos, I guess. Oh. That lets us sell our junk. So I guess now we do the mission objective.
Hello there, my inordinately... Oh, you're the one who visited me. Hello again. Thanks so much for brightening my day. What authorized floor can I bring you to?
Wait. What's her name?
Oh, hello
Sullivan.
there. Nice to
Okay.
see you. Anything you'd like to discuss?
Sorry. I thought maybe if she's Miss Han, then maybe, you know, she's depressed by her job and taking drugs to stay happy.
What floor would you like to visit?
Penthouse terminal. Okay. So let's go to the penthouse suite first.
The finest seat in the house.
Halcyon, Helen dead. Oh. That is quite a nice suite. What's Ellie doing here? Didn't we just...
I'm gonna nick a few towels. They won't notice.
Why is Ellie here? Huh.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Okay, so they haven't really cleaned anything up yet. Huh. I don't see anything I can trigger.
Helen, where did we go wrong? Oh, Lo, I'm so sorry. That didn't mean for... Helen, I love you. I love you so much.
So, here we can analyze.
The imprint left inside this suitcase matches the silhouette of Halcyon Helen's iconic handgun, the Needler. The weapon was recently removed.
Okay. So I take it we got Helen's apartment? I guess they wanted to bill us the most expensive suite. Well, either Helen's or Bertie's. The question is then, why would Bertie have her gun? I mean, from a game design standpoint, it makes sense that they would merge maybe one room and the room we live in. You know, like this. But it feels a bit absurd, almost, you know, under-explained. Messages from Administrator Ludovico. Subject, grateful. To Ruth Bellamy. Oh, that's Halcyon Helen. Miss H. Helen, thank you for choosing the Eridanos Atmospheric Complex as the site of your next publicity and marketing campaign. By endorsing the Spectrum Brown product, you are allying yourself with a revolution in the leisure beverage market. Indeed, in the culture of Halcyon itself. We're going to change the world together. From Profitability. P.O. Subject disappointed. Oh, profit of profitability. I don't understand why you and I must be enemies. Are we not both branches on the same tree of privilege? You command audiences with your masterly performances on the Aether Wave, and I command the attention of our corporate leaders. We're both cultural icons with a responsibility to set a good example. I'm disappointed to discover you've berated my seminars publicly and on official records. I take particular umbrage in your characterization of my most recent seminar, spearheading your project How to Motivate Your Workforce Using Ancient Weaponry, as a, and I quote, nonsensical vanity project from a dyed-in-the-wool buffoon. These are fighting words. Expect to hear from my personal auditors soon. Sincerely, Profitability, P.O. Money can't buy happiness, and other lies we tell ourselves. A new seminar by the Prophet of Profitability, coming soon. Home King Cannon. So we definitely know now that this is Halcyon Helen's apartment because her mail is all here. You're a talented actor. I've enjoyed all your roles across the years. I'm especially fond of your performance in Terror on Monarch. Ludovico doesn't appreciate the serials. Maybe that's why he never knows when he's being played. He still thinks you're the hero. You're here to endorse Spectrum Brown. Your performance has him fooled. I have a feeling I know what you're up to. It's always a little disappointing when the audience is a few steps ahead of the plot. Cedric. Okay, so King Cannon was the sublight guy. Recover deleted messages. Knows the truth. Please hurry. Don't know how much longer I can keep. Okay. Your safety is your responsibility. That's the Outer Worlds right there. In light of recent unfortunate events regarding the passing of a beloved cultural icon, we at the Grand Colonial have doubled the number of armed guards for only a small security surcharge. Surcharge non-refundable. The Grand Colonial is not responsible for death or dismemberment that occurs off hotel grounds. That's, yeah, great. They just add more guards and charge the customers. Such a fucked up world. It's interesting that Ellie is here without us taking her along. Oh, and Max is here as well.
Serials are used by the board to control what the colonists think about reality. Quite a powerful thing.
Okay, so who else of our companions? Felix is here as well, so they brought everyone, basically.
Is this how people in Byzantium live all the time?
Oh. This board is covered with a loose collection of photographs and papers. Examine the board more closely. A blank notebook lies open beside a stack of clean papers. It looks like someone intended to write something but never got started. Okay. So is it Bernie after all? Don't know what that is for. Chocolate. Or whatever goes for chocolate. Contact Administrator Ludovico. Yes, we will contact him.
Inspector, I understand you've visited the scene of the crime. Halcyon Helen was an important cultural icon. She will be sorely missed.
I still don't know why you hired me. I'm usually causing murders, not solving them. You mean Ruth Bellamy? Halcyon Helen was just a character.
Halcyon Helen was more than a character. She was a brand. Her death will now be associated with Rizzo's Spectrum Brown. You understand why that worries me.
I get it. You don't want to be responsible for a drink that kills people. Just turn this into an ad. Rizzo's Spectrum Brown. It's ass not stopping the good. I know he'll not agree with number one, but you know, the character we're playing is from a different time. I get it. You don't want to be responsible for a drink that kills people.
I do not. Spacer's Choice has that market cornered. Back to the matter at hand. Tell me about your investigation.
I've got a lead. I can't tell you why, but I need access to the orchards. I think I'll go with that.
Your discretion is appreciated. I admit, I'm beginning to feel more confident in this arrangement. Here, I'm granting you access through the gates to the orchards. You're officially authorized to see this investigation through to the end. There is one caveat. Cedric's being rather intransigent about letting you into the spaceport. Possibly he's trying to hide something. Possibly he wants to annoy me. Possibly both.
So he locks his doors the moment an investigator arrives? That's not suspicious at all.
I agree with the sentiment behind your snide remark. Unfortunately, the Piraeus spaceport is Cedric's purview, not mine. You have a lead to chase. Law speed, Inspector.
I'll be back. Alright. So I guess we've been everywhere in this swanky apartment. It's interesting that they have chosen to take Max and Ellie along. I wonder if that means they just have spots in the story where you need them. So are these the recommended companions? Or is it just that whatever two companions you choose, two more arrive? It's kind of interesting that the cleanup that they mentioned hasn't happened. Like all the clothes are still lying around. Or if the cleanup meant they had to search the quarters.
Hi there, Inspector. It might be a little beyond my job description to ask, but at my heart I'm still a bellhop. Was the suite to your liking?
Let's say it was great. I didn't even know they made hotel rooms that large. It was great.
Now, I'd love to bring you to a floor of your choosing.
I guess the orchard is past the lobby. But let's take a trip to the VIP guest floor while we're here.
Oh, so sorry, but you're not actually authorized to visit that floor. What authorized floor can I bring you to?
Okay, so I guess we might get that later. The lobby, please.
Lobby we go.
Oh, and now we can choose who we'll take along. So, yeah, basically it's all the human companions are here. It's only Sam that is missing. Harati, Nyoka, Felix. Yeah, Felix was in the side room. Nyoka was with us. So I guess they just put the rest of the companions here so you can choose who to take on which mission without having to run past what the thing is called, without having to run to your spaceship every time. Oh, and probably if they say we're not given access to the spaceport, maybe that means is that? Wait.
Hope you've been enjoying your stay.
Yeah, that's fine. Just took me a moment to realize you all wear these weird hats. No, we can still go back to our spaceship, apparently. Okay, so that's good, I guess.
Rizzo's Purple Berry Punch. You want a punch? We've got your punch right here.
You want a punch? You've got your punch right here. No, wait, that means something else. What is this room? I don't know. Tiny is what this room is. Piraeus Spaceport. Ah, okay. Sublight, salvage and shipping. Oh, that looks cool. Oh, pretty. Is that a ship hanging under the bridge? Or what? Oh, I guess... Ah, it's the engines of the spaceport. Because, of course, this is all just rocks floating around in the upper atmosphere. A bit the same idea as Columbia in BioShock Infinite, I guess. Haha.
That smell. Whatever that is, it'll kill more than bacteria.
Oh. There's a time dilation. Do you hear me before? The pool plaza is closed. There ain't even no water.
Oh, you're that inspector. Right. Sorry, but the pool's currently closed on account of it stinking worse than my boss. What can I do for you?
Why does the pool look all green?
Space me if I knew. I got here for my shift this morning and found it this way. They can't yell at me for this one, which is good, because a lot of folks seem upset by it.
This morning? So it happened just before the Spectrum Brown launch?
Gee, you're pretty sharp. Yeah, the reception party would have extended out here, but we had to close it off. What with the contamination. And now the reception ain't happening anyway. Can't do much now but wait for the stench to wear off. We found the individual hired to clean face down in a puddle of his own spit in the orchards. Guess he won't be helping.
Oh. So the orchards was where Helen was. Something face down in his own spit?
Look, I call it how I see it. They found the poor slackwit alongside syringes enough to put down a herd of mantisaurs. His family'll have to be fined. Rizzo should have been more careful about who they hired. They're lucky nothing got permanently damaged.
Something about this sounds off kilter. I'd like to take a look around.
Look,
Oops.
I call it how I see it. They found the poor Rizzo. All right. You may want to visit the sun parlor. That's where that Rizzo's fool mixed the chemicals he used. Oh, and you can talk to Lily, my boss. She probably has some great advice. I saw her walk toward the bridge to the Purpleberry Orchards earlier. Reckon she's still there. Now, anything else I can do for you?
Do we have some questions about the pool, or did we ask everything
So long
already?
as you don't want to go in, I can answer anything you like.
Pretty heavily armed for a pool guard, aren't you?
Yeah, it's part of the job. I think I'm listed as a security consultant. But all that really means is that if I'm caught without this thing, I get put on pool guard duty. I don't know what happens if I'm caught without it on pool guard duty, but I know that I don't want to find out.
You said that Rizzo's hired someone to do the cleaning?
Yep, still dead. Usually Rizzo's is pretty good at making sure the people they hire ain't got tripicale for brains, but that fella clearly wasn't worth trusting. I met him briefly once. Seemed level-headed enough, but that must have been just a front. Otherwise, he wouldn't have made such a mess of things.
Or maybe he was made a mess of.
Sounds good to me.
I'll be on my way then. Dead sprats?
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Analysis reveals the chemical signature of this compound is 80% semblant of fertilizer used in the Purpleberry Orchards. The other 20% is semblant of pool water.
Huh, so someone put fertilizer in here. Which I guess is poop or something? Pool filter, a mechanical contraption for propagating chemicals inserted above through the pool water. Someone has scratched a sentence into the filter's plating. Irion was here. Alright. I think I just ruined my shoes. Ah, there's Ellie. I was just wondering. Well, I guess these boots can take it.
A sudden death knockout court? Surprised the Byzantines fancy this. We played it on a rudimentary court in prison. Sudden death being more literal than euphemistic.
Huh. Okay. Seems a bit, So the question is that something the Sublight employees like?
I hope the murderer is caught soon. This lockdown is truly hampering my schedule for the week.
Agreed. I was supposed to go back to Byzantium today to play cards with the vice CEO of Hammersmith. And what about you?
Oh, I was too. But it wasn't the vice CEO, it was the president of the company.
Really? What's her name?
If you don't know, then maybe you should try to be a little more cultured.
I was nearly attacked by a terror ray on my way here.
I can't believe Helen's gone. We're never going to get a sequel to Terror on Monarch.
But we're in the middle of a lockdown. No one's supposed to be coming or going. And when I can't get a hold of anyone in the orchards, I can't make sure of that, can I?
No, Miss Fergus. Sorry, I'll work on getting a hold of someone.
Great, you do that. I'll be waiting right here. Swear to the architect, Matthias, if you've lost your rifle's ionization coil again. Oh, wait, you ain't part of my crew. What do you want?
Who's Matthias?
An idiot. I suspect he's avoiding me, actually, which is the first smart thing he's done all month. Sorry, but do you need something? Between the landing pad, lockdowns, gate closures, and constant questions from angry guests, I've got a lot on my plate. And if that don't beat all, one of my crew is AWOL.
A missing person? I'm actually an inspector. I could look into that for you.
If you're serious, I'd appreciate the help. He's been missing a few days, and we're low on staff as it is.
A few days? Why'd you wait until now to search for him?
It's not exactly uncommon for slug agents to go on the odd bender. They'll pick a place they think I don't know about and hunker down. Usually I don't bother with the discipline and paperwork. Gotta pick your battles. Thing is, they usually resurface within 24 hours, or at least yell for medical help. This guy, not a peep.
I'll look into it. What do I need to know?
The missing crew member's Evan O'Connell. He's one of about 2 slug agents I can trust with more complex tasks than stand here and look tough. Friendly type. Well-behaved, followed orders. Anyone else, I'd think they got drunk and fell asleep in a ditch somewhere, but O'Connell's not really the type. He was last stationed at the Wilderness checkpoint. I'd search there first.
I'll get on that. That would all be stealing. Oh, that wouldn't. Muhaha. Nope. Damn it. Okay, let's see if we can do this again. Oh, nope, we can't get up there, it seems. Nope. Nothing to get up to there, I guess. Huh. This looks cool. Jeez, those are huge cables holding this stuff at a good distance. I kind of hope we get a moment during the game where this stuff kind of gets broken or something. Would make for a dramatic moment. You know what I want to try? Nope. Invisible wall. It would have been interesting to find out if they, you know, made a special case animation or something. That doesn't look good. Ooh. That seems to be something that shouldn't be happening.
Take your best shot, asshole!
Subtle work, Captain.
Okay, that's the Marauders. Oh. One more. Ah.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Okay, I guess my companions took care of that. Oops.
The garb on this security guard identifies him as a member of the Rizzo's corporation. His rank would have been that of Jawbreaker or higher. This security guard has experienced premature expiration. Evidence strongly suggests a conflict with Marauders.
I guess we'll search his pockets for information. You find 3 bits and a half-eaten purple berry crunch. At least you left this world happy.
Death removes that which we worked so hard to create in life, a shell to protect us from pain. But it is this shell, this self, that is the cause of all our suffering. He is now free.
Okay, good to have Max with us for this scene, it seems. Okay, we can hack this. Connector complex maintenance. All maintenance personnel must thoroughly sanitize after handling engine parts. Associated chemicals are known to cause delirium and lightheadedness. Oh! Delirium and lightheadedness. That means your smellophone is smelling something. Yes. Smellophone is a good name. I hope I'll remember that. But remember Miss... what was her name? Han? That we found in the doctor's records? Who used to be, like, sullen and grumpy and suddenly came back happy? Rizzo's reminds you that proprietary engine chemicals are not intended to be used to induce delirium and lightheadedness. Any personnel caught ingesting or absorbing said chemicals, even unintentionally, will be cited for misuse of company property and charged wages for any affected shifts. So, that might have been what happened to her. Topped off coolant, it should be set for another week. Coolant levels dropped faster than expected. I filled the tanks back up, but I'll keep an eye on them. Looks like we lost coolant overnight. Must be a slow leak in the tanks or piping. I'm requesting authorization for a full inspection from EAC management. No answer on my request. Must have attached the wrong header, or maybe I CC'd the wrong sub-department. Trying again. My inspection request is still pending and we're still leaking coolant. I'm just going to look myself. Authorization or no. What's the worst they do to me? Ramirez. Sounds like you've got guests wandering the premises at night. That explains the empty bottles and cigarette stubs. The problem is they tend to wander off the side in the dark, and then hotel management has to run in circles trying to get payment for the days the guest is delinquent. I'll assign Security Officer Danvers to patrol the complex after dark. He'll probably insist on giving you nightly reports. He's watched a few too many serials. Easiest thing is just to toss them over the edge when he's not looking. Say you passed them up the chain for processing. I guess that's what happened to his request as well. Either that, or they didn't want anyone to know.
Hey, Crew C, it's Amelia. Evan must have gotten into the Spectrum in these crates. Listen to this. Come out! Come out to play! Law, he's having a grand old time. I'm gonna take him to A2 under the hotel so he can sleep it off. I'll meet you back at the orchard straight after. See you soon. Evan, come on, you slackwit.
Alright. Where did it see? Oh, over there. Is that A2 behind the crate?
Detected nearby. This card also expired prematurely, following a violent encounter with marauders.
At least he gave his life for a worthy cause.
We got to see Sky instead of Ellie. Okay. Oh, that was Adrena time. I don't know. One day I'll go and check out all the stuff that I picked up. Alright. I guess this spot has been
Detected nearby.
overrun. If it's not that, then what is it? Oh, maybe upstairs? Oh, they're on the roof. The roof, the roof, the roof is on fire. We don't need no water.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Beep, beep, beep.
This card also expired prematurely, following a violent encounter with marauders.
Nobody pays their respects. How rude. There's no railing here. So... Geronimo!
Get up!
Okay. Guess that worked. Clunk. It's no special thing, you just hit something. It's interesting. I wonder if the cables are quote-unquote magnetic. What happens if I jump down somewhere away from the cable? But I don't think I can see. But I think it kind of blasted me to the side. Oh well, I guess that was enough experimenting. Okay, that's interesting. That mechanically doesn't quite make sense. Like the others are connected to the bodies in the middle. To the boulders, but this also, good lord. Gaps like this in the middle of the plating. I would feel really bad about that. Purple Berry Nut Hut. Aw, this looks nice. Like, what is it?
That's a lot of purple.
Says the guy in the purple shirt. Caution. Pollination swarms in use in this area. Unauthorized personnel may be killed at their own expense. Alright, we're half an hour over already. So I think we'll end with this cherry blossom season picture. And that's where we'll continue next week. Again at 5 p.m. Central European Summertime. I hope you enjoyed it so far. And oh, we could probably try if we can find someone who is streaming right now to raid. But yeah, I hope you're enjoying things so far. And let's see. I don't think... it's okay. We'll just leave it as that for now. And thank you for being here. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for lurking. I hope you enjoyed the story so far. I found it pretty nice, except for that one bug where we couldn't get the alternate choice to work. But yeah, that was a cool story so far. And this is looking intriguing. And that opening cinematic was just chef kiss. So thank you. Have a great week. Enjoy. You know, I hope you'll have your work going well, or if you have a week off, then I hope that will be great. And hopefully see you next Sunday at 5. Bye bye.